Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Sushi, and just before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but today, honestly, I can just summarize really quick. It's coming up on about a 3% increase, basically a correction from yesterday's, a little decrease that we saw, testing 46,000. And I would say there's a little bit less fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market based on this being a new year, and essentially, tax stuff is behind us. So all in all, Bitcoin's not in bad shape. It's just testing the 200-day simple moving average, and we'll see soon what happens with that. And just before we jump into Sushi here, I wanted to just let you know I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people how to trade. This is my thing. I do this every single day for a living, and I can tell you it's a wonderful life. So I'm just really grateful because I get to work with amazing community members that are part of my channel. And I can tell you it's because of viewers like you that make my life much better in general, right? So just fulfilling that purpose of helping you get where you need to go. And if you find benefit, of course, go ahead and comment below. If you want to consider becoming a member, I definitely recommend doing so soon because rates will be increasing next month. And I'm rolling out with the Trading Academy as well to help kind of give everybody an equal footing on how to become a better trader. That includes beginner, intermediate, and advanced skill sets too. So let's go ahead and take a look here at Sushi and understand kind of what's going on. First of all, we are below the 200-day simple moving average and above the 50. So that's not bad nor good, right? Because the 50 has a tendency of creating what is referred to as a golden cross, where it intersects with the price action in upward fashion, creating basically a nice buying opportunity, right? It basically pushes the price action higher. So with us being under the 200 right now, yes, it might stay under that for a little while, but it will effectively break that in the near future, and we'll see that kind of come to fruition eventually. Again, golden cross doesn't have to happen for that to occur. The 200 can likely be broken soon. In fact, it broke above and came back below, so we're not in bad shape. We just got a resistance level here at about 935 we might want to be mindful of, okay? Taking a look at, let's see here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the RSI. We're back under 70, which is great. Gives us more room for growth, for lack of better terms, but you can oftentimes see 70 work as a resistance level if it can't break past that. It did look like it was trying to, of course, but it got rejected out for some reason. Likely the catalyst was yesterday's sell-off from Bitcoin. We saw like a 4% decrease in under an hour. When that happens and you see like a very significant correction from Bitcoin, coins like this that are overextended on the short term become, I wouldn't say problematic, but they're going to be hit a little harder. So is Sushi out, down for the count? No, definitely not. It's just kind of recovering from this significant increase. Because what I mean by that is if you take a look at this TD sequential here, you can see we're at a 9. We hit a 9 4 days ago, and it continued to increase 3 days ago, and then yesterday, etc. So what I'm getting at is the fact that when you have a 9 on TD sequential, it really just tells you that you've reached a state of market exhaustion, and that the likelihood of the price retracing or consolidating is very high. In other words, we've had 9 days of continued momentum in the same direction, which is, by the way, that percent increase from bottom to top is 103%, right? So I don't care if it takes 9 days or 10 days or 3 or 4 weeks. 100% and basically a 2x is a pretty significant move, right? And in only 9 days, there's a reason why the price is coming back down. It's a lot that has to do with Bitcoin correcting itself yesterday, but it also has to do with it being overextended. All right, enough about that. I hope you understand what I mean by that. That's hopefully makes sense. And then moving on to the 4 hour, we can see on the simple moving average that 200 is trailing behind, but the 50 might actually work as a support level here soon. So we might see the 50 work as a support, driving the price action a little bit higher and continuing sideways. That is awesome stuff. I like to see that. That really helps us understand that we're on the right side of the tracks. Here with the RSI 2 being just barely under 50, I'm not super concerned with it, but that does kind of reflect the fact that we have a potential resistance at $9.36 because the price has kind of gotten rejected for 3-4 hour candlesticks. So last 12 hours, the price cannot seem to pass that plane. Okay, so again, just something to be mindful of. It's not a dire straits by any means. I think it's just going to need to consolidate a little bit because of the fact that we had 9 days of straight bullish momentum. So I wouldn't even be surprised if the price comes down even a little further to about $8.30. So I'm going to state the fact that we probably should see a support channel between 8.30 and 9.30, right? Just as a rough estimate, we're going to see some kind of support here in that area. And what I mean by that too is just that we're going to need to see a lot more volume at this area to be able to allow it to become a nice strong support. The great news is we got a tremendous amount of volume at the current price point if you are only looking at the last 2 weeks of trading. So that's a good sign, right? It's building that foundation. We just need it to calm down a little bit longer before it legs up again. And so I'd say another day or two until Sushiswap takes off. Moving on to the 1-day chart, taking a look here at the Ichimoku cloud, there's no buying opportunity, nothing here to tell us that we want to go ahead and consider taking entry, right? Because again, you're going to be basically chasing the bottom if you take entry right now. Obviously, dollar cost average if this is a coin you want to hold for a long time. But initially, no, don't worry about it. If you're gonna take like a short-term day trade, you're basically buying the bottom or trying to find the bottom, and that's not ideal. You always want to use confirmation and ensure you're on the right side of the tracks. Now we've identified that already on the macro, right? The macro is on the downtrend. The midterm for the 4-hour is essentially moving sideways right at 50 in the RSI. And here on the 1-hour, we got Ichimoku Cloud telling us we have no buy signal. For lack of better terms, the micro is not ideal to consider taking entry, whereas the midterm and the macro are, if that makes sense, right? So big picture, again, depends on your position, what you're planning to get out of this. Long-term swing trade, dollar cost average. Short-term day trade, wait a little bit longer, okay? So that's kind of what I mean by that. And then, to summarize as well, if you don't already know this basically the lagging span is telling us that we're soon to intersect with the price action. So this really is telling us right now if we have a short position open, we could literally still leave it open for a few more hours before we have a sell signal to go long, right? So we're well below the cloud, no reason to take entry at this moment. But I do think long-term big picture, Sushi is definitely going to recover, because if we look at this big picture here, let me go ahead and give you a kind of a bird's eye view. You can see how well it's done in the past. Like its all-time high is $23.50. Now, will we see that soon? Probably not, because we just saw a 100% increase from bottom to top in only 9 trading days, right? So we got to understand that we're going to take a few days to consolidate. If we were to have that same exact leg up, just say that same 100% increase, as a rough estimate, we would experience from where we're at right now, we could literally see an 85% increase in the near future from Sushi. So I do think long-term, big picture, this is a good swing trade potential. But, again, very much short-term right now, it's on its way down, and we want to consider waiting to take a shorter, more brief period of time if you're taking entry for something that's less than 24 hours, right? So either way, what I'm getting at here is that I think the likelihood of Sushi increasing to about $17 is very high. I would say by month end, we'll see $17 from Sushi. Based on its current momentum, the way that's projected here, it's done very well contrary to Bitcoin. And that's something that really you need to acknowledge. And it's also, a lot of fundamentals too. So do your own research, but Sushi has reasons why it's growing right now. Okay. You want to look at that as well. But I would say comfortably, we'll see Sushi definitely increase in the near future. Just don't expect the next 24 to 48 hours to be like an amazing breakout. But I would recommend you consider dollar cost averaging and considering a swing trade of some sort, which has a small percent of your overall portfolio, maybe 3 to 5%, something like that. All right, so thanks again to my community members, of course, and thank you so much for, to Manny, I believe it was, who requested that I cover this. I do greatly appreciate you and, of course, your request. And if you're not currently a member, consider joining. We got an awesome community, limited slots available. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.